Angry guy here. And women are openly selling their bodies on the streets as passport bros leave. Women are openly selling their bodies on the streets as passport bros leave. Let's just go ahead and jump right into this article. So, as you guys can see, the article is titled Video Shows Open Air Soliciting in Yet Another New York City Neighborhood. Another one, right? Like DJ Khaled, another one. As ladies of the night stroll in broad daylight. I'm actually restarting this video because I tried to play the video, but it was just so unbelievable. This is from the New York Post. It was just so bad, I would not risk putting it on YouTube. So let's just go ahead and read this. The raunchy old days are back in East New York, where some blocks, that's a neighborhood in Brooklyn, New York. The raunchy old days are back in East New York, where some blocks are overrun by ladies of the night hawking early morning adult work, with one strutting her stuff nearly completely undressed in the middle of a street. Shocking new footage posted online shows the YouTube video East New York Ep 2 was shot at 7 a.m. on July 28th along Stanley Avenue near Sheffield Avenue and has already garnered 5,000 views. A woman wearing a see-through orange negligee and silver platform heels can be seen walking back and forth in front of a parked car next to a trash truck in an industrial block. Then, a woman who appears to be undressed from the top up with with an open jacket on walks in front of oncoming traffic. Next, a woman wearing a see-through purple negligee and strappy high heels trips as she tries to talk to a potential client in a car as a woman wearing a tiny black teddy with a cutout stomach watches from across the street. So this is unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable stuff, guys. Unbelievable stuff. Just down the road, a lady of the night wearing a stringy negligee with the thigh high black boots walks down the center of the roadway, waving and smiling at passing drivers. Another streetwalker in a barely there orange outfit is seen walking past a Department of Sanitation building on Georgia Avenue. The YouTube user posted the first episode online on July 3rd. So this is some crazy stuff, and it showed the the trade, okay, the Lady of the Night trade on Pennsylvania Avenue, and received 448,317,000 views according to the site. The scene in the disturbing videos reminded retired detective and John Jay College professor Michael Alcazar, who worked in East New York 75th precinct, of rampant open air Lady of the Night work in the lawless 1990s. Guys, so basically, back in the 1990s, when Mayor Dinkins was mayor in the early 1990s, it was terrible. All right, you had 42nd Street. A father wanted to make his son a man. He would take him down to 42nd Street, get him a lady. This is just how it worked in New York. Those were scary days for me personally. Growing up during that time, my parents loved it. That should just tell you the kind of people that they were. But it was New York was a very different place, and then Giuliani came around, and he cleaned everything up. He shut down 42nd Street, built stores there, and he really turned New York around. However, everything bad about the 90s is coming back to New York right now. The lawlessness, everything. In the 75, we would drive down areas. Okay, so let's check this out. Yeah. In the 75, we would drive down areas where there were waves of them, said Alcazar, who was on the job for 3 decades. It's sad because we cleaned it up and now it's back. And with that, they're also trafficking, people who are underage. Alcazar said when he was an undercover officer, the NYPD would arrest 13-year-olds and get them help. You know, they look at the guys who they're working for like they're gonna take care of them. He said they don't know they're being used, and I wanted to show you guys a video, but it's just like it's so bad. There's evidently over 300 of these guys that are these managers that are managing the ladies of the night. You know what I'm talking about. So these women there's 300 of these guys in just New York alone, are just like in this neighborhood alone. 300. It's unbelievable what's going on. Unbelievable. And all of this is happening as password bros are walking away from Western society, going overseas, and starting new lives and not looking back at all. And by the way, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and never miss another video again, and like the video, because it tells YouTube you're enjoying the content, so YouTube will show you more of it. But I mean, guys, this is some really, truly unbelievable stuff that we're seeing in lawless New. It's not getting any better. It's not getting any better in the West. No matter who's in office, it's only going to continue to degrade. You know, we are basically living in the age of Babylon. We are living in the age of Babylon. And guys, you have to just know that your only power as a man is to walk away. Because as men, as the password bros are leaving, these women have become brazen. They're on the streets. They're out there advertising. They're not afraid of anyone. All right? They're not afraid of being picked up by law enforcement. All right? They don't care. They're going this is the OF generation, y'all. This is what OF has done to society. People don't really seem to comprehend that OF is just a gateway. It's just a gateway for this stuff. Because when OF stops paying, or when the pay isn't good enough, you have to remember that most women on Only Fools only make a couple $100s a month, like literally a couple hundred, like $400 a month, if that. All right. But what it does provide is an opportunity to meet up with guys on the service who are soliciting, who are looking for something more, and that does happen quite often. And he'll meet up with these guys, and these guys will, provide for them and basically give them the sugar daddy treatment. But it's not good stuff. Or these women will just turn to the streets because they're like, well, I'm already doing it on Only Fools, so I could do it on the street. When I was growing up, when I was growing up, there was a girl I went to school with, and she was not American. She came from a good family. Her family were not Americans, but they immigrated to the United States. And as you know, immigrant families, they tend to be, very strict with their kids. They tend to have higher standards. The children typically perform better in school. And we went to school together, and my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. There was, I started hearing stories about her after we graduated from middle school. We went to middle school together. After we graduated from middle school, I started hearing stories about this girl. And girls, I remember distinctly her fixing we were at graduation together, I recall, and she was fixing my collar at graduation, so I knew her pretty well. And I thought that things would, she lived like literally one or two houses from me. I knew her brother really well, and I started hearing stories that this girl was out there in the streets. And I'm like, what? That she was out there in the streets soliciting. And I'm like, no, this can't be true. And my brother had a friend. My brother had a friend. And he saw this, his friend saw this girl, right? And he said, how you doing, miss? And she ignored him. And he said to her, oh, so you don't want to talk to me now, huh? You were calling me when I was over by so and so street, but now you don't want to speak to me. And I'm like, okay, this is insanity. This is insanity. This can't be true. This can't be true. It turns out, instead of going to high school, she didn't bother going to high school. She went straight to the streets with these other girls. And they started working the streets. She came from a good family. And her brother was so furious. Man, that guy, her younger brother, he was my younger brother's age, so he was 2 years younger than me. And her brother was 2 years younger than him. It was crazy. Her brother was 2 years younger than her, right? Just like my younger brother. And it was just madness because he was a grown guy and his sister was out in the streets and he couldn't handle it. And then here's what she ended up doing. She went from the streets, and then when her parents were gone, she would just start bringing dudes into the house. So this kid is in there, and she has men just coming in and out of the house, in and out of the house. So she started running her business from her parents' house. I remember her name, but I won't say it to y'all because maybe y'all can Google it and find it. Because the internet is forever, right? You could Google her name and what she was doing. It would pop up. So I'm not giving y'all that. But evidently, it was her parents eventually like shipped her outside of the United States. Like they sent her overseas. They sent her overseas. That's how bad it was. Her brother was so angry and so furious. It was just painful. Painful to see, man, to see a brother speak of his sister this way. It was something on it. It was just like, and to see the look of disgust and fury on his face. I mean, think about this. This man is in his house playing PlayStation, and some dude is telling him to scoot over. He got next. Like what? Like, yo, man, scoot over. I got next. I got next. What? What? No. No. Guys, this is the lawlessness that is returning to Western society. As men are walking away from Western society, going overseas, starting new lives, finding wives, girlfriends, or just starting over and finding their peace, and have no intention of coming back to the West, or if they come back, it's just to work, make their money, and pick up and go again. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. All right? This is it. I titled another video, Women Have Reached a Point of No Return. Women have reached a point of no return. All right? They have reached a point of no return. And what you're going to see is more of this happening all around the country. Because that's what Only Fools really is there for. It is a gateway to this. All right? A lot of women use Instagram for this, where they solicit on Instagram. They go looking for a John on Instagram. However, don't forget that Instagram is just a gate. Twitch is just a gateway to Instagram. Instagram is just a gateway to Only Fools, and Only Fools is just a gateway to the streets. All right? So a lot of these women who are on Only Fools, and they can't make it on Only Fools, because the average woman is only making like $400 on Only Fools. And it's very easy to fall off on Only Fools. The next step is going to be the streets. It's going to be the streets. Because when you get mixed up in that type of lifestyle, not only are you now involved in something like this that's very, very just not only degrading, but it's bad for the individual, because it opens them up to substance abuse, among other things, and other forms of abuse, and it's a spiral down to the streets, because you can't do Only Fools anymore. So now you weren't making anything there to begin with. So now you're gonna turn to the streets. A lot of these girls will end up homeless. All right, are just trying to survive, and they'll turn to the streets, and they'll be out on the streets, and that's really what it is. That's really what it is. Are you guys surprised by this? That women are openly selling their bodies on the streets as password bros leave? I want to hear your thoughts on this. You know what I think, but I want to know what you guys think in the comments. So let me know what you think in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, man. Walking away and cheers.